When people struggle to understand something, they usually fear it, and as a result, dismiss or choose to remain ignorant to it. Unfortunately, in crypto and at large the communities it has formed, has created so much greed and toxicity that many are losing sight of its originally intended purpose, and as a result overlook Cardano for the route it has taken. In the pursuit of life-changing gains, the wider space has become far too distracted to actually identify where the future of blockchain is really heading. So many hold the view of having some kind of endgame strategy, solely using cryptocurrency as a vehicle to grow capital and exit at a top. This kind of behaviour has been fueled by the lack of utility or extreme barriers to entry for the average person to interact, build, and/or extract value from a blockchain being so far out of reach. This is where Cardano is changing the game. Above all others, what is being built here is a vessel for endless utility, and the opportunity here is far greater than the price of ADA increasing. What's different about Cardano, many of us in the community have realised, rather than having an exit strategy, there is no endgame with Cardano. Its purpose is to serve the financial needs for billions of people for decades to come, and rather than exiting, remaining in the ecosystem, leveraging the value from its utility across the span of a lifetime, will deliver far more value than any price pump could ever achieve. Welcome back for today's instalment of Cardano Insights, delivering a fast-paced, bite-sized roundup of the all-important Cardano news and ecosystem content from the past 72 hours. So join me as I explore exactly what's been happening at the very pulse of Cardano. So let's get straight into it. Over the weekend, and as recently promised by Charles, we got an AMA session live from Mongolia. So something a little different. Rather than covering multiple topics, in today's video we're going to break down some of the key highlights that came off the back of this. Like always, the AMA covered a broad range of topics, everything from Hunter Biden's escapades to questioning the origins of humanity as a result of Monolithic Structures founder Göbekli Tepe. But as always, Cardano Insights will focus on the key highlights that directly relate to or impact Cardano. So let's begin. First to Mongolia, and something I wasn't aware of, Charles explained that since opening the market there 3 years ago, holders of ADA has risen from just 2,000 to 140,000 in a country of only 3 million people. With little marketing, this growth has been achieved for the most part organically. I think this is a great example of when you introduce people to a system that enables equal standing, that promotes financial freedom, holding the right values, the level of adoption and traction gained is a byproduct of this. Now the country itself has 14 exchanges, lots of NFT projects, aims for a gold-backed stablecoin, other art and restoration projects, with many more educational initiatives. Namely, one being the Haskell training class, where 3 students have already been hired by IOG. Charles elaborated on his thoughts of economic identity, stating rather than financial inclusion, the idea of you're welcome to be part of my system, Cardano promotes economic identity, where you can have equality and can live the life you want to live, retaining your cultural lifestyle, irrespective of your customs and geographic location, while still having access to financial markets, participating in the world economy. This is where Cardano's mission to implement RealFi solutions come into the forefront. The essence of RealFi has 3 layers. Layer 1, you need decentralized infrastructure, telecommunications, energy and computing. If any part of this is centralized, this can all be controlled by one single actor, and therefore access can easily be denied. Layer 2, identity. You need verification of a factual claim, for example an individual's education status or achievements, coupled with reputation, a value judgment of the reliability of that individual. Layer 3 is the applications, peer-to-peer marketplaces, oracles and other utility apps that can be accessed. Charles explained this is why IOG have a keen interest in places like Mongolia and the developing world. These governments are extremely receptive to this technology, making it a safe place for innovation. Take Mongolia, the fact that it has great tech entrepreneurs, whilst in close proximity, 1/3 of the country are nomads. This enables you to implement these systems to prove RealFi in real time with real-world application. Cardano's focus on the developing world has often been part of its wider criticism. During the AMA, this was brought into question as Charles was asked why Cardano doesn't look at first world now solutions. He explained the problem with the first world, currently it doesn't need the systems or solutions Cardano and blockchain are offering. And where they do need it, unfortunately the regulators stifle innovation, heavily reducing the speed it can be implemented. This highlights the need to focus on the 3 billion underbanked or unbanked and these governments that are more willing to work with you. That's a huge population widespread across many continents. If the systems are implemented here first, are globally available peer-to-peer and at low cost, then this will raise many questions of the policymakers in Europe and the US. For example, why do people in Mongolia or Ethiopia have a better banking system, identity system, and more fair financial system than the ones we do? At some point this will force the hand of change, and as the current policymakers are replaced with the ones that are willing to change these systems, it will then in turn open up these markets. This implementation with developing countries, coupled with Charles' relentless desire to work with Congress in the US, gives us a great insight to how Cardano is implementing a global adoption strategy. Whoever can't see the vision and how this is the process if you're aiming for global adoption, then they really are missing the point where opportunity truly lies. In further response to this question, Charles was also keen to point out that currently, although Cardano is focused on the developing world, the majority of builders on the blockchain are from Europe and the US. So there are many working towards first world now solutions. However, adoption of those applications are ultimately dependent on regulation opening up these markets. For me, this all makes perfect sense, and Cardano is leading the march towards implementing blockchain infrastructure at a governmental level. The work they're doing in Africa, Mongolia, and many other regions really is going to be one of the key catalysts for shifting the attitude towards blockchain in the West. Now to Mithrill. This is a long-term play for Cardano and inclusive accountability. If you have a transaction sent to you on Cardano, you need to verify two facts: one, that the tokens are real, and two, that they haven't been double spent. Currently, you need either a full node or to trust a third party to verify these factors. The full node is slow and will only get larger the more Cardano gets used, and trusting a third party, well, this pretty much goes against all the principles of crypto. With Mithrill, you can send on the wire a proof, and you can check that proof with less than a full blockchain. Just a small amount of data, only several megabytes, meaning cell phones, i.e. light wallets, get the same amount of security as full node wallets. Charles updated us on the status of Mithrill, explaining that they're on a 2-week development cadence, currently in the applied research phase with a collection of open questions that need to be resolved, and proofs of concept that need to be carried out. The result of this will be a full end-to-end verification that Mithrill as a protocol is viable at scale. Mithrill will then enter into the product phase. Partners will work to integrate Mithrill. IO will do this with Lace, DC Spark with Flint, Vacuum Labs with ADA Lite, then so on. Then the goal here will be to design a pluggable interface so it can be used and commoditized. At this stage, IO believe Mithrill is now viable and at an inflection point from applied research to pluggability. Charles was very optimistic that towards the end of the year, all the applied research will be complete, so things are progressing nicely here. He also added that Hydra is also an applied research project that already has commercial partners, in which they're currently working to integrate. With the introduction of Mithrill and Hydra all coming to Cardano very soon, to say these times are exciting is a complete understatement. Next, and Charles was questioned on the potential of a future collaboration between Cardano and Algorand. He explained the two chains are very similar in philosophy, but different in terms of technology, and this is where the opportunity lies. Now that John Woods is at Algorand, Charles is hopeful of a future collaboration, and this can be realised specifically surrounding the problem of quantum computing, as this is an area of expertise in parts of the Algorand team. I guess we need to watch this space, but with thoughts of a multi-chain future, it's great for Cardano that Charles has this openness for collaboration. Next to a subject that was only covered in brief, Charles was asked on his thoughts that projects are migrating from Lunar to Polygon and not to Cardano. His answer nailed it, stating, first you have to question their judgment for going to Lunar in the first place, and second, people only go to Polygon because Polygon pays them, and people come to Cardano because they want to. This got me thinking about long-term adoption, the strength in a secure, robust ecosystem full of utility and opportunity. This is going to be created not through aggressive marketing for short-term financial wins, but through organic growth with users and builders buying into the principles, and in turn delivering results through passion and desire of being part of a better system for the world. The network effect thereafter will be something pretty satisfying to watch unfold. Next, we got an insight to Charles and his work with the regulators. He was asked about Congress and specifically when he'll go again. He explained that it's likely the next time he'll be going will be to the Senate, and this is something he's actively working on. I think this is vital for crypto, and like I always say, the space as a whole should be extremely thankful that Charles is making these kind of efforts to steer regulators away from stifling innovation with productive discourse and cooperation. Finally, in a question thanking Charles for his direct but blunt approach, he offered some interesting insights to his thought process surrounding this viewpoint. Charles explained that some people are convinced he's the worst person alive, even to the point that they're writing books and shooting movies about it. He points out that all he does all day is meeting after meeting, reading books, papers and reports, testifying to Congress on one hand, and then meet the president of Mongolia on the other. People either think it's admirable or believe it's a scam. Of all the businesses he's involved in, that being crypto, biotech, agriculture tech, the work on his ranch, in all cases but crypto, he's treated as a human being, whereas in crypto, he has 1/3 claiming it's a scam, 1/3 claiming it's real but it will never deliver or amount to anything, and another group fully behind and believing in the mission. He highlighted when he testified in Congress, not once did he mention Cardano. He was representing the whole of crypto, yet not a single Layer 1 CEO or company in the top 10 retweeted or congratulated his efforts. Even on Reddit, the sheer amount of disgust that he was even representing crypto was unbelievable. Then afterwards the consensus was he did a good job, but he's still a bad guy. Charles reminds us that unless we stand together, the regulators won't differentiate from one token to another. Bad regulation will affect us all, yet on the large we're divided. He's never seen this density of toxicity and lack of appreciation for things than what we find in the crypto industry. For me personally, following Charles for a number of years, I don't think you'll find a more rational thinker, and anyone more consistent in their views, vision and mindset. These are qualities that shouldn't be overlooked. Whilst Cardano isn't about Charles, it exists because of Charles, and for the fact that he has a relentless determination, despite what the naysayers want to believe, to deliver something truly world-changing for mankind, is something many are failing to acknowledge. So that's it for another installment of Cardano Insights. I hope you enjoyed today's video and found value in the content, and if you did, please be sure to share, like, comment and subscribe to the channel. Your support here goes a long way in helping Sapient reach a wider audience and spread those positive Cardano vibes. We'll be back soon with your daily roundup, and until then, thanks for watching, have a great day, and as always, keep it Cardano.